We are going to be joined by a man who I believe possesses or represents, I should say, one of the best stories of the year. I recall not too long ago, Matt Riddle leaving the UFC somewhat unceremoniously. I recall Dana White going on UFC tonight and saying, this guy, where in the real world can you make this kind of money, all this stuff and more. Riddle just sort of walked away from it all on a winning streak, no doubt. He had won multiple in a row. Of course, they called one of them a no contest, all this stuff. But let's be honest, this was a winning streak. This was, in my opinion, a 5-fight winning streak, even though they changed a couple to a no contest because of the marijuana stuff. Walked away and then got into pro wrestling. You'll recall a couple of years ago we had him on the show, talked to him about him being a darling in the indie world and being content with where he was at. But people like Dave Meltzer comparing him to Kerry Von Erich and other great superstars of yesteryear. And then all of a sudden, he shows up at NXT in Brooklyn, New York, back in August, sitting in the front row. And now he has since debuted for NXT. He's a member of the WWE family, NXT under the WWE umbrella, and he is well on his way. And he is more successful than ever. He is more popular than ever. He is about to be wealthier than ever. He has won. And not that long ago, he reposted that video of Dana White trashing him on the way out. And I guess you could say the King of Bros is laughing last. What a great story this is. Very excited to be talking to Matt Riddle once again. Matt, how are you?
I'm good, man. What an introduction.
Absolutely.
All right.
Matt,
Thank you. Thank you, bro.
You are an inspiration. You really are, because in life, people get kicked. People get, ridiculed. People are told that it's over for them, and you just took that negative in classic Matt Riddle fashion, turned it into a positive, and you've done it better. You went to a whole other level. You're now on the cusp of being a superstar. I legit draw inspiration from your story. Well done, my friend.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. It's been a long time coming, and things happened with the UFC, and it was definitely, I was definitely down. I just had my third child and, got fired and all that jazz. And, of course, I didn't even watch the video of Dana White ripping me apart. I was just trying to figure out what to do next. And, and I just, I was actually in Vegas kind of content even living the way I was living, and I knew that I could do more. I knew it wasn't over. I shouldn't stop right now, and that's when I started wrestling, and I saw you in Ohio a couple of years ago at an indie show with like 100 people, maybe. And now with Shayna, and now I'm at NXT, WWE, 20,000 people chanting "bro," going crazy for me. So, it's been awesome. It's been awesome. I've just been, rolling with the punches, but I couldn't be happier with everything, man.
You said the right things when I spoke to you a couple of years ago. You said, you're happy where you're at, you're with Evolve, all that stuff and more. But was the dream always WWE? Is that where you wanted to be?
It wasn't. I love WWE, and as a child I always watched it growing up. And, yeah, it is the pinnacle. It's like if you're going to fight MMA, you want to fight at UFC 100 or 200 or one of the big UFC in Vegas. You want to be there. And just like in wrestling, there's other great big shows, but you want to be the main event. You want to headline WrestleMania, and that's the big show, So, yeah, it's always been a goal, but with my past, especially with the UFC and how many people have, frowned upon me and have treated me differently just because of my past, I honestly never thought I was going to get an opportunity. And, and I think a lot of people just thought I would never change, and I think there's a lot of variables, and I think my work rate, my consistency, my dedication, and just keep going, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter if Japan said no or WWE said no. I don't care, man. I'm going to keep doing this until you need me. And eventually, New Japan and WWE were knocking on my door, and it wasn't a want, it was a need,
When did WWE first contact you?
Probably a couple of weeks before the Takeover debut in August. It was really quick.
Wow.
And a coincidence, New Japan hit me up around the same exact time. So it was bam, bam. And it went from I was just working indies, pretty content on working the smaller shows, traveling the world, ping-ponging across the globe. And then all of a sudden, and don't get me wrong, at this point I was kind of like, I wonder when the next big thing is going to happen, the next big step, like who's going to be the one? And then to have multiple companies hit me up in a week span was insane.
Wow. So you had to choose between WWE and New Japan.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and for me, it was difficult because I respect the culture in Japan and I love their work rate. But at the same time, with WWE, it's something I grew up on. It's the legacy, And to be completely honest, Gabe Spolowski, I've been working with Gabe since Evolve, and he believed in me when, even when I had to travel with WWE, they didn't pick me up. He believed in me, and he works at NXT, and we've been on this journey for a while, and, I didn't want to leave his side. I wanted to be with him, and I knew he could help me out, and he would look out for me, too. So that's like a big reason why WWE, it's the brand I grew up on. It's amazing. And, of course, I have friends there, and Gabe, I want to still work with Gabe.
Was there any part of you, because I think part of your charm was that you were out of like the corporate world, so to speak. You weren't fighting for the man anymore, and you were this indie darling, and you didn't have to, conform and the weed stuff and all that. Was there any part of you thinking like, man, I don't want to go back to that. I want to be the indie darling. I just want to be the guy doing what I'm doing now, and I don't want to sell out, so to speak?
Well, this is the good thing. It's kind of, I refuse to go on those terms. In the sense, like, I was content on the indies. Like, it's not that people weren't offering anything. I was getting offers, but it was more so like I might have to change something, or I might not be able to be me 100%. By the time I got everybody to offer me deals, they didn't want my body. They wanted the character. They wanted Matt Riddle. They wanted the King of Bears. They didn't want me to play something else, They wanted me. They wanted the move. They wanted everything I do in and out of the ring.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you're a proven commodity. Even when you were at NXT, people were chanting, bro. Were you surprised by that, or did you expect that?
It was in Brooklyn, and New York's a very smart wrestling town, very smart wrestling community. And I've done a lot of good work in Brooklyn and in the New York area. So I wasn't too shocked, but at the same time, when you go into those situations, you never know how they're going to perceive you. In your mind, you hope they react the way, of course, they did for me, which was amazing. They said even I got one of the biggest pops in they've heard in a very long time. They put it over pretty good. I got a very good reaction, and for a guy who hasn't been on TV since 2012, I've only been on the internet since. I thought it was crazy that 20,000 people or more were just going crazy, chanting bro. And the reaction I got on social media and everything else, it's been very good. And, and it's been good this whole time, but it's just another huge step up,
Does it feel like you're in WWE, or will it only feel that way once you're on Raw or SmackDown?
For me, I'm already there. I really believe in what I do. I love sports entertainment. I love WWE, but I think I bring a different feel to it. I bring a different realism to it. And my goal isn't just to be one of the best, but it's to change the game. I want to change how things work, and I want to change how fans see it, and I know I can do that. And I think that's for me, that's the biggest thing I want to do in this. Because it's not just a wrestling match; it's entertainment. It's a show. It's a spectacle. I'm trying to, just like Circus Olay or anything else, I'm trying to captivate the audience. Granted, we do it with martial arts or fighting or different athletic abilities, gymnastics, whatever, and a combination of all. So that's my goal. I want to change it, but for the better, and change it in like the way I see it.
So when you say change it, what do you mean specifically?
Just different elements. Just different elements of change. Like, I want more unpredictability.
Okay, yep.
I want more realism.
Yep.
That's it.
Actually,
I think the fans would appreciate it, and I appreciate it, and that's what I'm going to bring. That's what I've brought since day one. And I think that's another reason why I've been as popular as I am.
it's so great to hear you say that word, unpredictability. I used to be the biggest pro wrestling fan. I consumed it all, everything. And I just felt like it all got too predictable. And you could just call it. You knew exactly how it was going to end. So I think you sort of saying that this is your goal is a breath of fresh air. And I think Matt Riddle might be the guy to get me back into it.
I think you're right, and I won't let you down, bro. Trust me. I want you to sink your teeth back into it. I want more grown-ups watching pro wrestling. I hate when people put it down or put the entertainment down, because that's what it is. It's entertainment. You don't put down a movie, you put down a cartoon, but for some reason some people like to put down sports entertainment, and I'm telling you, open up your eyes, and especially guys like me, and Keith Lee, and there's so many guys that are coming up right now from the indies, and we've all grinded our own ways, me through the UFC and then on the indies, others through just the indies, some through like professional rugby or football, then the indies, then now the WWE or NXT. So I'm telling you that this new generation, we've been around, and I think it's ready to change. I think we're on the next Attitude Era, but it's not going to be the Attitude Era. It's a different era, but I think we're on the verge.
What's the timeline as far as NXT? In your perfect world, how long would you like to be there before getting called up to the big show?
Oh, in my perfect world, I'm champion in like 3 months, and then I'm on main roster, and I'm challenging Brock Lesnar, and I want to retire Brock Lesnar. That's a perfect world.
Wow.
Right there. Me beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania and main event for the Universal title, and if he loses, he retires.
This WrestleMania, the one coming up in April?
Well, maybe not this one. We got to build
Okay.
it. So probably next year's Mania.
All right.
I got to become like at least North American champion. Also, there's a UK NXT title or UK WWE title too, and I'm pretty big in the UK, so I wouldn't mind taking that guy as well. So I'd be the first American with that title. That would be sick. So I got goals. I have plans.
Yes.
There's a lot on the table. Like I said, it's sports entertainment, so it's really unpredictable, especially at NXT. I can basically do whatever I want when I want. Even though I'm kind of under a corporate umbrella, I have a lot of freedom. So it's honestly, it's really cool.
I saw that you posted that Dana White video not that long ago, so clearly you have seen it since. When you watch it now, what do you think?
You know what? I got a message in my Instagram DM. I open it up and it's a video, and it's Dana White ripping me apart. And I'm like, and I got mad. I was like, what son of a bitch sent me this video just like at 10 o'clock in the morning? And I'm just like, and of course I'm like watching it, and all of a sudden I'm like, let's see what this loser can make $100,000 a year doing this. And all of a sudden they show me that takeover, and of course it made me extremely happy. I was right to the guy, like, you just made my day. Thank you so much. And then of course I shared it, and and I'm supposed to get a great reaction. Like you said, everybody does like I wouldn't say Cinderella story, but like a comeback story, just like a Rocky movie or something like that. And you rarely see it in real life. It's hard to see in real life sometimes.
Yeah,
even if they're smaller battles or bigger battles. And this one is a little more public, is a little bigger. And, I ate a lot of crap throughout my, but it was worth it. I remember when I met Forrest Griffin, first time I met him while training fighting, and he goes, you guys got to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? And I was like, this juice is definitely worth the squeeze. And it's been a long time coming, but feel like I'm sipping on pretty good juice.
Do you hold any animosity towards Dana White or the UFC?
I really don't. If anything, it helps elevate me. Well, I wasn't put on a platform that I wouldn't have been on anywhere else. There was, so I have nothing against them. I do have a problem, per se, with the way they treat their athletes. I didn't like the way they treated me. Well, I think, like, Tom Lawler recently got, like, let go after serving as USADA suspension or something like that. And, like,
yeah.
There's a lot of things I see that the UFC does that they do that aren't ethical, but they do it for money and things like that. And I'm just not a big fan of, like, poor ethics, in life. So, like, that'd be my only complaint with Dana White or the UFC. It's like, I wish you guys took care of your athletes a little better and, did the right thing more often as you can.
Do you still watch the sport?
I do. I watch it occasionally. The more I watch it, though, the more it's looking like WWE and NXT, though. Khabib jumping over cages and eagle kicking people and all the trash talk. And it's pretty. Sometimes it's hard to watch. It's not what it was like when I was in the UFC. I feel like the fighters had a lot more respect for one another, and everybody wasn't trying to wear a suit and big time everybody. I feel like there was a lot of handshaking, a lot of bowing. Some people had beats, of course, but I don't know. I felt like it wasn't so much of a show. It was more real, when I was there.
So you're in Tampa now. You've moved your family. You're training out of their performance, not Performance Institute. What do they call it? The Developmental Center, right? Performance Center.
PC, the NXT Performance Center. Yeah, dude. It's awesome. They got like 5 or 6 rings. We got a ring that's really it's like a water bed. You can just do flips and do whatever on it. It's insane. I was just hanging out in it earlier. Dude, yeah, it's awesome. I can't say anything better. I'm training with, I don't know if you watched back in the Attitude Era. I'm training with Scotty Too Hottie.
Oh, yes.
So, dude, I'm training the other day. I'm in the room with Scotty Too Hottie. It's the first day I'm walking with him. And as I'm walking out, he stops me. I'm like, hey, Matt, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, did I do something wrong? And he stops me and goes, I am so excited to work with you. And I go, Scott, you just made my day. Because in my eyes, I just had Scotty Too Hottie. Somebody I looked up to as a kid, and he tells me he's excited to work with me.
Wow.
And I'm just like, bro, you don't even know. I was stoked just to come in this office and talk to you, So, it's when your job is like something you've wanted to do your entire life, and you're around people you want to be around and get to know and pick their brains your entire life. So it's insane.
That's incredible. One last thing for you, and you don't have to go into details, but I just think it ties the whole thing up, very nicely. Are you making more now than you did in the UFC?
Oh, yes. Way more. Way more. I'll be honest, I was making more in the indies, but I think that was a lot of my merch sales and a lot of the bookings I had that were cash payments, But now I'm making extremely good money, and I'm taken care of. I even did a show in Progress the other day, and they paid me extra just because I did an extra show. Yeah, so and that's not even part of my contract. That's just an extra bonus. So they hook it up. They take care of the guys. So I'm stoked.
Man.
I'm like I said, it was a long journey, and I wrestled in a lot of stages and wrestled for $50 and worked my way up to getting a good payday and where I'm at. And I got, I got my 3 kids, my wife, we all moved down to Orlando. We're good. We're doing good. It's awesome.
Honestly, Matt, I am so happy for you. You really did it, and you truly are an inspiration, because it was so crappy to see the way they just kind of got rid of you on a winning streak. It just didn't feel right, and a lot of guys just disappear. And you've created a whole new life for yourself, and you are killing it. And I'm so happy to hear that you are making more money now, and you're not even on the main roster yet than you were in the UFC. That is incredible. That made my day. So congratulations to you, Matt. Continued success. Everyone in MMA is happy for you, pulling for you, and I give you my word. When you make it to that main roster, my man, I will be watching. I will be rooting for you. I will be cheering you on. Really happy for you. Keep doing your thing, and all the best to you over there in Orlando and beyond.
Oh, bro, thank you so much, man. Can't wait to talk to you again in the future, bro.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. There he is, the king of bros himself, Matt Riddle, the former UFC fighter, now killing it in NXT and soon to be on the WWE main roster. What a story. What a story. Take some inspiration from that. Take a lesson or two from that. If someone tells you you're done, if someone tells you you've got nothing left, if someone tells you that your dreams are over and done with, trust me, they're not telling you the truth. They are lying to you. If someone tells you that your dreams aren't worth, striving for, they're not telling you the truth. Look at Matt Riddle. The guy was ridiculed on his way out. The guy was kicked on his way out. The guy was told that he would not ever sniff the kind of money that he was making in the UFC. Now he is a legit superstar in the world of pro wrestling. And he hasn't even scratched the surface. He is on the cusp of megastardom. Because I've seen him. I told you this the last time he was on. And he just referenced it. I saw him at an indie show in Ohio, in Cleveland to be exact, the night before UFC 203. And he is right. Unpredictability. He comes out like an MMA fighter. No shoes. At the time, he was wearing MMA shorts, but I think he was wearing trunks this time. Or this time around, now he wears trunks. But anyhow, it feels real. It looks real. Similar to how Shayna Baszler wrestles. It's great. And he's got such a great personality, a joie de vivre, the bro thing. I won't say that, Matt Riddle and I are like the closest friends, but when I saw him in the front row at NXT and just with that smile on his face, and everyone chanting bro, it honestly warmed my heart. It really did. And I'll be honest, maybe it's because there's a similarity there when I was, banned and told that, I would never be allowed back. I would never be able to cover the sport and, everything works out. I feel kind of what he felt, or I felt what he has felt. And he has just gone on a whole other level. So congratulations to him. And I will be keeping tabs and I will be watching. There's no doubt about that. Amazing stuff.